welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. My name is Dr. Linzi. I am a naturopathic doctor right here in Iron River, and I specialize in helping people restore their health and revitalize their life. And always a lovely little disclaimer, anything discussed is for the purpose of general health support, not intended to treat or cure a disease, rather to support overall physiology and optimize overall health. Always consult with your primary care doctor before making any health changes. Last week we talked about something that was really important, especially as we age, and that was preserving lean muscle, supporting recovery, and building strength in a way that actually supports your body instead of breaking it down. And so many people think that muscle is an aesthetic thing, like, oh, I look good, and for intense workouts or doing deadlifts and stuff, which are great, but it's actually, muscle is really about metabolic health. It's about blood sugar control. It's about hormone balance. It's about joint stability. It's about longevity and independence later in life. And so I shared last week my top 3 things that I personally use and clinically recommend to support muscle building, recovery, and preserving lean mass. So if you missed that and you want to check that out and that's something that's important to you, you can go right to my YouTube channel, Dr.Linzi ND, for naturopathic doctor, and you can take a listen and check it out there. But today I want to start with something that I posted recently on social media, and it got an overwhelming response. And I feel like with all the division lately, when it comes to, I feel everything literally has a division, this was something that everybody seemed to agree on. Literally, we all agreed. And so it was I had asked if getting in shape, or you could think of that as getting in health as well, getting in shape, getting in health, is a psychological process disguised as a physical one. And pretty much everybody agreed, and there was 100% yes, absolutely. Like, everybody was on the same page with that. And I couldn't agree more as well, because, let's be real, when we're looking at getting healthy or getting in shape, most people don't actually struggle with knowing what to do. How many of us kind of, for the most part, we know what we need to do to be healthy or to get in shape. What the struggle is what we're thinking while we're doing it, or trying to get ourselves to do it. And so I want to talk about the real reason why so many people stay stuck, and the real reason why when you see people have success in their health journey, and the solution that I found, not only for my patients, but for myself too. And so the problem, you guys, isn't food. It's not the exercise. It's literally what I refer to as the mental spiral. So many people think the reason they aren't succeeding is because they don't have enough willpower. Well, let me tell you, the definition of willpower is energetic determination. So tell me, at the end of the day, how much energy do you have? How much determination do you have? That's all great, and we often start out strong, but we're good. As a human, we're going to lose that willpower just because that's what happens. So we can't rely on that. It's great if we have it and we're experiencing it, that's a bonus, but we can't rely on that for our success. So what I see in practice is this, that most people are stuck in a loop. Are you guys ready for this loop? Let me know if it sounds familiar. Oh, I'll start on Monday. I've already messed up, so what's the point? Oh, I'm not disciplined enough. This is too hard. I always fail. I'm just not one of those people. That's a story that you can tell yourself over and over. I'm just not one of those people. What? Just not one of those people who can eat well and make good choices for yourself and be successful? You absolutely are. So quit telling yourself that story. But anyway, so we have those thoughts. We say those things to ourselves. Well, what happens? Those thoughts create emotions, and the emotions are what drive our behavior. And this is exactly why cognitive behavioral therapy, often known as CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is so powerful, because cognitive behavioral therapy teaches that your thoughts affect your feelings, and your feelings affect your actions, and your actions reinforce your thoughts. So let me say that one more time, because it's really important to understand that, because it is totally a cycle. Your thoughts affect your feelings affect your actions, and your actions reinforce your thoughts. So let me give you an example. So if your thoughts are, and you're telling yourself, okay, I always fail, okay? So then you feel discouraged. When you feel discouraged, you stop showing up. And when you stop showing up, your brain goes, see, I told you, You kind of suck. And then that becomes your identity. And that becomes the cycle. And that becomes a story you tell yourself. And so the truth that most people miss here is that most people don't understand that, yes, your thoughts matter. But a lot of times, people who talk about, manifestation and the law of attraction, which I talk about a lot, we focus so much on the thoughts, which are very important, and they carry energy and they can draw things in, and the words we use are very powerful. It's a part of the piece, right? But we can't forget that actions matter too. Because if you sit around waiting to feel motivated, or you try to be like, well, I just need to change my thoughts, you might be waiting forever. So the thing is you can't necessarily think your way into a new life. And if you really struggle with thoughts and that's a really challenging thing for you, it's going to be hard to just try to change your thoughts. So what you can do, and what cognitive behavioral therapy is about, is you move your way into the new life. So for example, you eat the protein, you drink the water, you take the walk, you follow the plan, you show up anyway. And then your brain starts to naturally shift from, I can't do this, to wait, I'm actually doing this. And that's how identity changes. So we want to, yes, work on our thoughts and work on gratitude and affirmations, but sometimes we just got to get up and get out of our head. If we are really struggling and we are in a downward mental spiral, we have to move our body. We have to take action, because the action is what is going to get us out of that headspace and start to change our brain, and then start to change our thoughts, and our thoughts will follow. So here's what I want to focus on today, because this is the real secret. The most successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on alignment and a system. So let me explain. When I say alignment, that means something is feeling right and it's more likely to be sustainable. So that alignment means that your health journey, or that getting in shape, or that optimizing your health, is connected to something much deeper than, for example, just a number on a scale, or just the amount that you weigh on a scale, or something more superficial like that. We have to get deeper into your, what I call your why, of why you're doing that, so that you can feel aligned. It's not, oh yeah, I should lose some weight. We want to go after, I want to feel strong. I want to feel confident. I want to have peace around food. I want to stop being controlled by cravings. I want energy. I want to feel proud of myself. I want to honor the body God gave me. When your why is aligned, you stop feeling like you're punishing yourself or forcing yourself to do things, and it starts to feel like you're actually rebuilding yourself. And that shift can change everything. But I also like to point out that alignment in and of itself is not enough. So the truth is, even if you're aligned, even if your heart is in it and you feel ready, and you're doing the positive thoughts, and you're waking up and you're affirming yourself and you're in gratitude and you're doing it, guess what? You still need a system, because life is going to happen, right? Stress is going to happen. Sleep's going to get disrupted. Hormones are going to shift. Your nervous system is going to get dysregulated. You're going to have a hard day. You're going to go through grief. Your kids are going to need you. Your job drains you. Your emotions hit. You're triggered. Like, all of that happens. And then even if we're in alignment, that can shift because of life. And if we don't have structure and we don't have a system, guess what happens? The old habits will take over, not because you're weak, but because your brain will always choose what's familiar when it's under stress. So the system is what makes success easier than the failure. And so what do I mean by a system? So a system is something that is direction, guidance, mentorship, accountability, structure, consistency, and a plan that is simple enough to follow even when life gets hard. Because when you have a system, you don't have to figure it out every day. You don't have to fight your brain every day. You don't have to rely on your emotions to get you there every day. You just follow the next step. And that, you guys, is how habits are created. And habits are what create results, not perfection, not willpower, not motivation. But the habits are what are going to be your foundation, because you can go on autopilot. And when your habits are positive, it's going to sustain your health. When your habits are negative and you go to negative autopilot, that's not going to be a good outcome, right? So you guys, this is exactly why I created the Total Health Restoration. It's not just a meal plan. It's not just supplements. It's not just eat better and exercise. And it's definitely not just take a GLP-1, even though that's part of it at a very small dose and for a short period of time. It's a complete system designed to support the mind, the nervous system, the metabolism, the habits, the consistency, and the identity shift, because that is what's going to sustain your health. Yes, we can use accelerators and things to help us, but we have to get at the system and the habits to really create lasting change. And so it gives you the structure most people are missing. And it gives you the alignment and the encouragement so you stop feeling like you're doing this all alone. Because I'll tell you right now, most people don't need more information. We are an information overload like world right now. They need to feel seen and heard. People need support, they need strategy, they need structure to work through their dramas, traumas, and stressors, as I like to say. Because that's where people really get stuck. It's usually not about the weight loss. It's usually not about the thing that you're stuck on. It's about your dramas, traumas, and your stressors. And you need help to work through those so you can create habits that you can rely on when those dramas, traumas, and stressors hit. And so I think that is what is really helpful. And I mean, does that make sense, Jim?
Oh, it does. I mean, you mentioned something in psychology.
Yeah.
One of the first things that I kind of started talking about was your mental attitude. So you described something that was called the self-fulfilling prophecy. You can actually, some people say wish it into existence. The interesting part is most people, when they start having these self-fulfilling prophecies, they always go to the negative.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's like I think it's when I've looked into this, I feel like it's actually technically protective because, back in hunter-gatherer days, like we needed to be scanning the environment for threats and we needed to know the negative and worst case scenario so that we could protect and continue on our species. But we're not really in that anymore.
Well, you're onto something. This hereditary nature versus nurture. I mean, this all falls. What I'm getting ready to say all falls into this. Yes, for protective reasons, you don't go into things that you're not familiar with. But one of the very first words we all learned when we were learning to go from our original language of baby talk to speaking whatever our parents spoke was the word no.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of that. I mean, that's really. I mean, you say mama and dad, I said no.
That's one of our first words.
It is.
Do you ever remember that movie with was it Jim Carrey? What's it called? Where he can't say no.
Oh,
he has to say
liar, liar, or something.
Not liar. It's a different one. I can't think of it. Someone will have to ask the audience, but it's a pretty interesting movie because you start to see. I mean, it's the extreme of it, but you start to see all the things that can go right and all the opportunities that can show up when you say yes. And I often explain to patients when they think that they have to say no to food because they're working on their health and they feel like everything's restrictive. I say, but instead of it being no to the food, how about it being yes to yourself? It's all about perspective, right?
It is. And going, it's amazing how this is just leading right into the. I myself, I'm one of those people, and I'm sure there are other people out there that if I'm at that motivational period where I'm like, I could do that, or I could just stay where I'm at. I have found, and I'll ask, do you believe if I vocally, I mean out loud, say the words, Jim, get up and go do what? Do you think that has a lot more of an effect than just sitting there thinking about it?
Absolutely.
Because I do. That's my motivational tip right there.
Yes.
Because I will tell myself. Now, on the other hand, sometimes I'll tell myself no.
Yes.
But I will actually say it out loud.
Absolutely. And then you actually have, I call it the green light stories. So green light, red light stories. And we have about like a 3-second window where if we tell ourselves the green light story, like, okay, Jim, I am getting up and I'm moving my body. We got about 3 seconds to get up and do it and act on the yes, or our body will start to switch to the no stories. Oh, well, I could just sit here. I could just, and I will give a little tip for people. There is a free app called Think Up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I'm so happy you said this because what's amazing about it is it takes affirmations and kind of gratitude to the next level. Because you know how most of the time we're told to write down the affirmation or put it on a sticky note and put it on our mirror or something.
Stuart Smalley.
Yes. Okay. Well, this you record. Now it's a little weird. You record your voice saying it because hearing it
More powerful.
Gives your more powerful and gives your brain permission to actually believe it.
Wow.
And creates more change. So I love that. That's great.
Hey, Dr. Linzi, if people wanted to, sit down and I don't know, have a conference, or if they just want to talk to you one-on-one, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Yeah. So they can email info@drlinzi.com. That's info@drlinzi.com. You can also call 906-829-0500. And then yes, and then I am on Facebook, so I am always posting. And so a lot of times, like my patients or even people that know me, or maybe some people that don't know me, like we engage on Facebook. Sure. And it's really nice. And I do some of these questions and try to keep it positive in that crazy world out there on social media. But I did want to let everybody know tomorrow.
Yes.
I am going to share something a little special. I've been putting it off, okay? But it's my before and after photo. I've been sharing about all this, and because a lot of people joked, like when I had shared about losing that weight and getting healthier and less stressed, I lost 32 pounds, and people were joking like, well, where, from your hair? And I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. I hide it very well, and I wear a lot of black. And so the photo, you can't miss it. Right where that 32 pounds was. So I've been avoiding it because, it does feel vulnerable. But it's, because it's one thing to help people, and then it's another thing to put yourself out there, and especially when you're at one of your worst. And that photo and that before and after that I'm going to share tomorrow is literally when I've been at one of my worst in my life, But I've decided that I'm going to share it, not because I need the attention or to be like, oh, but that people can see it, and they can believe that it can be true for them, and that change is possible, and that you don't have to go through it with shame or obsessions or extremes. You can go through it with alignment. You can go through it with a system that develops habits, and through consistency and guidance and mentorship and accountability, and through learning how to get out of your own head and into action. So what I want to ask you guys today is, think about, what do you feel like you're missing most? Alignment. So your why kind of feels fuzzy, of why you would want to get in shape or in better health, or your system. You don't have the structure or the support, because if you have both of those, you literally become unstoppable. And if you want help building both of those, that is why I created the Total Health Restoration, and that is exactly why I created it. And so you can, and I also now on my website, Jim, I have a page dedicated to the Total Health Restoration. Wow. So if anybody is ever wondering, there's a spot to see if you're a good fit, and you can fill out a couple questions, and that makes it nice and easy. And that's right on my website at drlinzi.com. So that's drlinzi.com. And you just click on the page that's Total Health Restoration. And then just make sure you guys check Facebook on Thursday, because I'm mustering up the courage to share that horrible. And believe me, when you see that before photo, you're going to be like, oh, Dr. Linzi needs a hug. I look pretty sad, but hey, dramatic effect. I wasn't even trying. It was just how it was. So you guys will get, and I'll share in there a little bit of my story, so you kind of know how the results happen, and you understand the process, that creates them. And so that was just really great. And I wanted to even share about the Total Health Restoration. Somebody who's doing it, because we're in that beta group, remember, 17 people doing the beta group. Someone sent us over a message that said, and it just filled my heart, because we're only 4 weeks in, you guys. She said, I've always had good skin, but now I feel like it's next level amazing. I have a glow, and it's super soft, and it just, everything lays perfectly. And I guess I didn't realize it, but my skin was definitely dull, and due to the junk I was putting in it. And my anxiety is at an all-time low for me. She said, I honestly didn't know that could almost disappear completely after living with it for so long. And the husband commented that I just seem happier overall. And she said, I know it's not just about weight loss, but I'm excited to officially have lost 11 pounds, and I'm in the double digits. And so it's just like hearing stuff like that, like, gets you excited, and to know that, like, it can be possible for you too. And these are people, so many of the 17 people that joined the beta group are people who, like, were saying, I've tried everything, I've stuck, the weight won't come off. And then it's been so beautiful, because within 2 weeks in, they're like, wow, yeah, I'm glad the weight's coming off, but it's about so much more than that. I feel less stressed, my anxiety's gone, my energy's up. It's like so much more than just the weight. You know what I mean? So that's been really cool. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And I hope today's episode encouraged you to explore new ways to support helping yourself and knowing that health is possible for you. And I encourage you to make creating the conditions for health a priority in your life and to keep supporting that incredible body of yours. And I encourage you to focus on getting in alignment around your health and getting the support that you need, because you are worth it. And may you trust your body, trust nature, and trust the incredible wisdom that God built into your design. Right? Can I get an amen?
Oh, you preach it to the, preach him to the choir there, Dr. Linzi, that's for sure. Hey, folks, come find out why 17 people. Wait, that's not when I was doing that. Find out why these 17 people have gotten in contact, and they were first picked by Dr. Linzi.
Yes.
Obviously, you have the questionnaire for a reason. Again,
Yep.
folks, go to www.drl